Jonesy tipped a bottle of Roots and Shoots out concentrate straight onto my lawn and like looked at me like, Irvo's going to kill me, and he's like hosed it out.
Got to the airport, the passport had expired the day before. In true his ex-wife's fashion, she's like, see ya.
Yeah. Galahs found my lawn, which I'm seeing a lot of now, and as we come into the season through.
Mate, we had it at my house. Hillary Clinton will be the next president of the United States of America. You do one video.
That's it. Are you the guy from that one episode? Yeah.
You've got a fan base of like 11. Yeah. And they're just like, oh yeah, no, we're big ass Irvo fans. Oh, yeah. Like, we saw that video. Have you seen the video? So for those of you that are tuning in, this is a pre-recording for Friday. We decided to record this afternoon, and Dylan and I were talking about. I hadn't even thought about a guest, and Irvo. That's Irvo that you're seeing on your other screen. Just returned from leave, and he said to me, "Hey, Jonesy being away and that," and I was like, "Yeah, I need you to do the podcast." And he's like, "Yep, that's kind of what I was asking." So we are going to do a live podcast now. I'm just going to reset my computer so that we can get Restream it working, which is what we use for the questions. And we'll just talk a little bit about you and your lawn, and then I think we might just dive into a bit of irrigation. Is the heater on?
Always is.
Fucking jazz. I'm going to go turn the heater off. Hang on a sec.
Sprung.
Mate, I have been saying that it's spring now for the last week, and I'm copying a bit of shit about it because there are people that believe that spring is a date, but spring is not a date.
No,
spring is a feeling.
It's 24 on Monday.
Yeah, it's quite funny. You've come back from
That.
Queensland where it was amazing, and then you just roll in and just like, oh yeah, oh good, the weather's the same here. It's handy.
I had -4 on the way home, so that was cold.
Where was that?
Dubbo.
Yeah.
Very, very cold. But
So-
that's okay.
So which of the parks that you stayed at had the best lawn?
I'm going to say up in Bundaberg, we stayed at a farm, and they had probably, I'd say maybe 2.5 hectare of like just perfectly flat. It looked like it had just been oversowed with like a bit of a rye, a bit of cooch up there as well. So it wasn't too bad. It was nice, given the amount of traffic it gets, like with caravans and what have you on it. So
Well, you were saying someone drives you off, someone drives back on. It's like
yeah, you're on and off. So I mean, they've changed the way they do caravan parks with their turf now. They don't allow, certain tarps and mats and stuff like that on it, because it just people come in on a tent and they sit on a site for 2 weeks, and then, as you can appreciate, what a tarp's going to do to turf, so it just kills it.
So how do they manage that? It's just a rule.
Yeah, it's rules as you agree when you sign up, and you I've got a special mat that's like vented and allows air through and whatever else. But even that, they say not to have that on for more than a week in a lot of parks too. So
As in they'll come out and tell you to move stuff, or you just do the right thing.
I've done the right thing. Got to follow the.
It's one of the 12 immutable laws, right?
The laws of Waterpro.
Okay, so I'm trying to get into Restream it so I can see questions if they do come through. Unless you're going to punch them through to me, are you going to be able to do that as well? Or I can. Yeah, if you can't, that's fine. I'm trying to get into it. So just a bit of background about Matt. Actually, you want to explain your history, your work history, and I guess from an irrigation standpoint, so that people understand how you fit in, and then that might give me a bit of time to get this sorted out, and then we can start talking about irrigation. And if any questions have come through, I can start asking them.
Yeah, cool. Probably 2006, got involved in irrigation as a trainee, left the Defence Force and came back and got into irrigation design as a consultant. I knew basically that my day one was, this is a sprinkler, this is a valve. I guess you don't learn irrigation in year 12. Although I'm probably going to advocate that you should.
You'll be the guy. You'll be like volunteering to do talks at schools.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Did my trade certificate in irrigation there, and did a lot of irrigation design. And obviously I was, I think you and me spoke about this recently, where I ended up having conversations at the age of sort of 21 with SA Water about hydraulics of their network, and I'm on probably, it was $11.40 an hour and stuff. And I think I saw an opportunity in the industry and kept going, and that business ended up closing. So I was looking for a job, and I guess, as I said, I wanted to be a part of the irrigation industry still. So a job came up at Waterpro as a delivery driver, and Clint was in a partnership at that time, business partnership, and they made it very clear to me. They said, look, you're going to be the least paid person, but the highest educated and I guess highest qualified person in irrigation. And I said, that's cool. I just want to stay in the industry. So what are we now? Probably 12 years later with a small gap there. I'm back. I think, where did I leave for? About 12 months, 18 months.
Yep. Went to try and find yourself.
Yeah. And then, basically started as counter sales, deliveries, learning irrigation from a domestic side of things, more so from my previous background was designing sports fields and I guess larger municipalities like council reserves and that sort of stuff. So to come down to a smaller sprinkler and scale was a different learning curve, but it has a different reward. As you can appreciate, we do that many residential backyards and front yards now. Like, to see people put their turf in and then get the result that they want out of a system that's been designed properly is pretty cool to see. They spend all that money on, whether it be Kikuyu right through to Sir Grange or whatever it might be. Like, they're still an investment, and irrigation's another investment, but it pays off. And I guess the company was growing quite a lot, and I think you sort of maybe travelled to Bali for a little bit.
I think me travelling to Bali was that wasn't. I was going to say my honeymoon,
No.
but it wasn't. Did me and Michael both go to Bali together? I think we did that in 2005, but I don't think no, that was the only trip.
No, you went Bali with like Jacko, and
that was right. Yeah,
Jacko left his passport. Didn't have an expired passport.
He got to the airport and the passport had expired the day before.
Yeah,
and in true his ex-wife's fashion, she's like, "See ya."
Yeah,
like, I'm fucking going. I'll see you there.
Yep.
That should have been a red flag.
Yeah, and so obviously during those periods, I guess comfortably took the reins and became store manager at Kenttown, and then the company grew, and obviously we became multi-location, so I became a general manager with Chris looking after the Kenttown store beautifully, and then the birth of Lawnhub, and away we went. The rest is history. Exciting.
And then there was a railways in there as well.
Yes, railways was that 2019.
Yep.
September 2019 to 30th of June 2024.
It was 4 years and 3/4.
Yep.
You said to share the podcast on LinkedIn. Is that already done? All right.
You have to share it to be able to.
We're not big enough, Maddie. Really? Oh, so we just need 5 more. Okay, so if you're tuning
I was about to say.
if you're tuning into the podcast and you have LinkedIn, then can you please go follow Lawnhub's page on LinkedIn? I don't know what I'm doing, and the juice probably isn't worth the squeeze for what I'm trying to do at the moment, because I'm like pausing the podcast to try and share the podcast, but that would be much appreciated if you could give us a follow on LinkedIn. I'm not going to worry about doing this because I can't change my user on LinkedIn easily on my phone. So talk us through a bit about your lawn.
I'll be completely honest. I just followed Lawnhub.
Oh, so we've got one. Hang on, maybe I haven't followed Lawnhub.
When you said it, I was like, I'll just slide on over here.
So we've had a few questions come in from Instagram, which is interesting and handy. That we'll get to those. Full disclosure, Jonesy's not here, so Irvo and I will do our best to answer your questions. I know we joke a lot about Jonesy not having a formal turf qualification, but the dude is a psychopath and has his knowledge is. He should get an RPO of some capacity.
Yeah, I think someone just has a conversation with him and they're like, "You're passionate enough. We're not even going to argue with you."
Yeah. So he's on leave at the moment. He's gone to get his prolapsed asshole sewed back up or something. Yep. So he's doing that. so he can't sit down, so he can't do the podcast.
Oh, that's why he's gone to the snow.
Why? I don't know why anyone else would want to go to the snow. I think, he's. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to stop trying to share this. Okay, Dylan was following Lawnhub. Hang on a second. I got a pretty good feeling that inside the walls of this building, we could probably get our 150. Right. Or we could go on to, what do they call it? Fiverr and just get some...
Marge will be listening.
Yeah.
He can spread the word.
And Josie would be like, whoa, what the fuck? Podcast. Let's talk about your lawn.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about irrigation because I think this feels like I've got the sun that's shining through the window next to me is almost as bright as the lights here. The birds are singing, and is that frustrating you? We can kill the birds.
We're in t-shirts not because it's warm in here either. It was nice
outside. Yeah,
it was good.
So let's talk about your lawn. So talk me through your lawn journey at your current home. And
yeah, so my current home, as a lot of people will have, will be, I guess it's a 75 built home. So the kikuyu out the front. So it was a kikuyu, non-sterile. So flowered like crazy. And had it really nice. We used to core it and dethatch it and had an irrigation system in it.
It was humming.
It was a nice
Probably
lawn.
not dissimilar to the photo behind you.
Yes. And I had that red Rover.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm sorry about that. The cylinder mower that weighed about as much as a plastic mower that your children would play with.
Yeah. So it sat on top of kikuyu really, really well. It literally drifted every time I cut, but it was good. The galahs found my lawn, which I'm seeing a lot of now, and as we come into the season through.
Mate, we had them at my house.
Yep. Oh, you got them on your fescue.
They were picking out what looked like a cooch of some variety that had grown up there. I think it might be crabgrass. I don't know, like a fine leaf one.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to work out what they are, but yeah, it was picking it out of that, and I threw. I went and spoke to them, and they left, and they haven't come back. Yep. So I think for anyone that is having...
You spoke to the birds.
Yeah, I spoke to the birds with a rock.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyone who's having issues with birds...
I've had similar thoughts.
Yeah. I think the key is you got to get to them early. As soon as you see them, you got to encourage them to move on. And if it's inconvenient enough for them, they'll go do something else. That's my experience. You didn't do that first time? I also
No. I did that straight away. I was frustrated because there's, I guess, lawns in my street and the reserves across the road that are full of kikuyu that aren't of probably the
yours
health.
Was
Oh yeah, I guess it was healthy, but the galahs got hold of my lawn, and I guess there is videos probably up of my lawn in somewhere in.
They'd be on Lawnhub's channel or at Ask Irvo on Instagram. Is that what your Instagram
Ask
handle is
Irvo?
now?
Yeah, got to change it.
I forgot.
Stay on brand.
You do one video.
That's it. Are you the guy from that one episode? Yeah.
You've got a fan base of 11. Yeah. And they're just we're big Ask Irvo fans.
Oh, yeah.
We saw that video. Have you seen the video? It just becomes your thing.
Yeah. So I did a lot of research. I was told, going back to Burke's Backyard data online as well, with people trying to fight bird infestations, and talking with my local golf course and what have you. So I put a few manual distractions out, and I came home and there was literally 6 of them underneath the distraction, just eating the lawn around
just for people listening, a distraction being like a plastic bag or a galah or
a milk bottle that would spin in the breeze and hit the
the
pole, and it's supposed to scatter them. And I had CDs hanging up on fishing rods all through my yard.
Do you know what a CD is, Dylan?
Yeah. Compact disc.
Yeah.
I think what's it? Dildo Films, which is Dylan's film.
Oh,
he's got he does a bootleg kind of private label adult films. Is that fair? It's DYLDO as well. He does a boutique release on CDs, I think.
Audio.
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
No, it's all full. Got lights and everything.
Put it in your PlayStation.
I did not think about that.
Nah, it's not funny. I've got school.
There's more sounds on here. Sorry, man.
You've been loaded up now.
It's going to be good. There's heaps.
Yeah.
Yep.
They I found out that you have to take the galahs were going for the rhizome. So if, you've got that fork in when you see like the plant sparing off, there's apparently like the rhizome is quite sweet. Apparently, like it's quite high in carb. Apparently, I believe, and that's what they're going
It's like
for.
the sugar. It's like crack.
Basically sweet, yeah. And so I got told try a loom powder and spray that.
As in an aluminium based powder?
Yep. So I followed the rates and put that on my lawn, and I think I put that on a Friday and went to golf on Saturday and came home, and my lawn was the same colour as this table, just with flour. It looked like it'd been snowing on my lawn. So I was like, well, I've obviously caused the plant to flower, and there was birds everywhere.
So like, good, the crack's flowering.
Well, I actually as I saw them, Jess didn't know what was going on, my wife, and she saw me coming down in the car, and I just drove the car completely up the front yard, straight into the front yard, and just locked the brakes just to try and scare them. I was like, I guess at breaking point at that point. So I did more research, and my understanding is that cooch doesn't have that sweetness like that style of rhizome that says as attractive to the galah. I'm sure people have still probably got birds hammering their cooch, don't get me wrong, but I heard that you won't get as big a problem. And obviously I had a desire to put cooch in from a tighter leaf, a finer leaf as well. So dug it up.
There was kikuyu when you moved in?
Yeah.
I'm
talking
like original
30-year-old, 40-year-old kikuyu.
And so your desire was just to get that looking good. There's no point spending any more money on new stuff. Is that you got that looking good?
I always just wanted to maintain it being good. I always had an end game of getting rid of it because I wanted to re-landscape the whole front yard and put driveways in and what have you. But and then probably reduce the amount of turf that was in the yard. So then I guess I can really hone in on the turf that it is. So yeah, dug it up. I did a little bit more research, spoke to golf courses. How far do you go? Obviously, some of the feedback was like a half a metre to a metre removal.
And I know that sounds really extreme, but yeah, that's kikuyu.
Yeah, I mean, everyone would probably seen kikuyu go across driveways and up fences.
Up poles. I've seen street signs that are coming out the top.
Yep. So my yard was about 150 square metres, and I took out 68 tonne of my front yard.
Far out. So I'm asking questions I know the answers to, but this is more for the benefit of the listener. So if you're going to convert your front lawn from kikuyu to yours in your case was Tiff Tough, but to another lawn, glyphosate the whole lawn.
Yep.
How many times?
It depends on how quickly you're then going to get to it.
So as in, it might be a good idea
I
to
obviously
wait.
started glyphosating mine in winter, so the plant's not actively taking it up as much. So it just yellowed it off, and it took a little bit more. And then as it came into spring, it was like, I guess, almost rejuvenating itself. So then that was a good time to hit it again because it was taking that glyphosate in. So for me, it was 4 times on like maximum, like black, whatever it's called,
Max 500.
like blackberry concentrate
Killer
rate sort of thing. So knocked it, dug it all up, got rid of it, and we had I guess it was all pretty much leveled, about 250 mil down is what I went, and we had a bit of a rainfall event and kikuyu everywhere.
I remember. You're like, what the fuck? I just got rid of this.
So, and it just doesn't go away. And
you've still got it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It pops up every now and then. But when I say that, it's minimal. So,
yeah. I saw it just near the path, near the curb. There was like a bit just kind of popping up.
So, yeah. Put in a Lawnhub turf mix.
Yep. So that was the one that we were blending at Railways.
Correct.
Did you customize that at all, or you did it?
I went heavier in the sand slightly.
Yeah, because you felt that it was not.
Only because my base I was sitting on clay.
Yep.
So, clay for probably 300 or 400, and then I had sand below that. So I thought and obviously knowing I can give it enough inputs through Lawnhub product, I'd rather give it the input that I can control versus I don't know where that loam's coming from as far as like it being too heavy. But the problem with that is you don't have enough there it's constant feeding. So you do need organic in your soil profile.
So just if you're obviously Railways, which is now SA Landscape Supplies, still have Lawnhub turf mix. They still make what we had when we were the owners of that business. But if you're in another state and you can't get access to that, it's effectively an organic compost, sandy loam, and sand mix, depending on how.
It was a blend of sharp and finer sands too.
Yeah.
So you still had
So it's like
it wasn't too fast at
Yeah.
draining, so it still held water where it needed to be, but it wasn't slush.
Yep. So we've got a bunch of questions coming through. I might punch through them and then we can keep talking about it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect there to be as many questions as there are, and it's very indicative of how unemployed our audience is, and how most of them are fucking sitting around doing nothing. So I just want to test some buttons. So I've got one here. Hillary Clinton will be the next president of the United States of America. Oh God! Hang on, what's this one say? Michelle Obama will be the next president of the United States of America. All right, maybe I've got a few.
This seems like a sports bet.
And they both have money on them as well.
Yeah.
I tried to put a lot of money on them, and Sportsbet wouldn't let me. What's this
So
one?
they cap you out.
No buttons for you, Clint. That's perfect. All right, so Nathan Scasebrook says, "Hey," which is the photo you saw before. Jack Chapo, hang on, I'm grabbing a beer. Adam Jones, hello lovers. So Jonesy was probably just sitting there going, what the fuck? Like, I like how I've sent him, he's actually been pretty good. I've been asking him questions all day and he hasn't responded to any of them. And now I'm on
I was
Facebook.
going to say, I've seen responses most times.
It's been really good. Yeah, but I need to keep it up.
Playing golf though.
He played golf yesterday. Is yesterday Monday? No. He played golf on Monday, I think.
I think he played again today.
Oh, mate, I would be. Well, he's got no kids, no work. Go play golf. You don't let either of those things get in the way of you playing golf. All right. Trevor Scarsborough, you guys going to get in on Peking Bunnings rave? Do you know about that?
Oh, yeah. No.
I don't understand. A Peking going to play a concert at a Bunnings or something?
Yeah, they've been pushing, and apparently they're going to. Bunnings has agreed to doing a rave concert or something.
What, in the car park or inside of Bunnings?
Inside of Bunnings. That's all I've seen. And then if someone was saying, oh, well, they should go all nationwide, do one in each state or something, and I got bored.
The lowest standards are just the beginning? You shouldn't say stuff like that. Mission complete. Okay. Mandarang. Galahs have eaten heaps of my kaiku. You're going to oversow with rye next year. They weren't as bad the previous season when it was oversown. Maybe they won't see the yellow grass and attack it. What are your thoughts?
They're coming.
Yeah, so the issue is that the healthier the kikuyu is, the more likely the galahs are going to eat it. Mine was sulfur-crested cockatoos. Were your galahs?
Galahs.
Yeah, so the ones in my front yard were sulfur-crested. Sulfur-crested?
Yeah.
Yeah, cockatoos. Not sulfur-crested. Sulfur-crested.
Yeah.
Cool. There's obviously a button for that. Oh, fuck, hang on.
I'm legally blind. I can see barely. Barely, but...
All right. Jonesy just said on the course now, beautiful Arvo. So he's watching Lawnhub live.
Yeah.
And probably
trying to get his putting yips out.
Yeah. Just listen to us, the dulcet tones of Ask Irvo and Very Clint. So the oversow, I don't know. I'm with you. I think the healthier you make your lawn, the more likely you're the target. So in Irvo's situation, he had the best lawn on the street, if not the suburb, or close to.
That was good. There's some
good lawns,
yeah.
But they're flying around. I mean, obviously these birds have a bird's eye view of the best lawns. They're going to go find it. So the comment about it, they weren't as bad the previous season. I think that could also be because they've learnt where the lawn is and they've gone, fucking, this is good. Like,
mine was 3 years. So
they learn
I
about
had
it.
like 4, and then it was like, oh, don't go to Beryl's house. Irvo's is like, come over here. He's got the ribeye. So
They fly south for winter and come back, and they're just like,
yeah,
So we had a meeting, and Irvo's house is where it's at.
yeah. But we've got golf courses that have got kikuyu in Adelaide as well, and they have bird problems. One way they battle it is putting a growth regulator on. So by
'Cause it tightens it up.
So
Yeah.
and I found that did work because it didn't
It
stop
made it
them.
better.
Yeah, because it's harder for them to get in. So like once they've broken it,
It's
like
easy.
the rug's up. And
It's
then
like
they're
trying to take like chip tiles off a wall. Like you get that first tile and you're like, all right, now it's all
That's
coming
right.
off.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you were talking, your glass situation, you probably welcome them now, right? You want them to rip the kikuyu out of your front lawn, or you prefer to do it yourself?
No, I see them on the power lines. Morning, boys.
Yeah, there's like
They literally, I've seen them land and then they take off.
Yep.
They're not interested in the tiff tuff at all.
Well, you think about the stollen size, like if you were eating it, like you're not going to get anything out of Tiff Tuff, right? Like it's kind of like probably trying to get almond milk without modern machines. Just like, fuck, really? Like,
Yeah.
Sorry, I know the analogies are getting extreme, but you've known me long enough. So Mandurang, I would love you to keep us updated. Let us know if that does happen. Obviously, there's a community of people that are trying to improve their lawns all around Australia, and a small percentage of them are tuning into this. And so if you find that the oversow helps, that would be cool. And then other people might be able to do that.
Is there a theory that the oversow is going to be...
I think he's thinking I think it's he, is hiding. It hides the... Like if you put rye, you can't see the kai.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the birds will go find it.
I know there's steak under my asparagus.
Mate, I saw them pulling rocks out of my neighbour's driveway.
Yeah.
And I'm talking heavily compacted dolomite. Like you wouldn't be able to get it out with your hands, and they're just fucking popping them out. So they're going to get kikuyu if they want kikuyu.
Yeah.
Nate Extreme, is it Friday already? Thomas Nisbet Smith, sadly not Friday. Boo. Andy Chef, what's a good pack to buy for newly laid grass? Also wait till the start of September to lay, ? Look, we've got a pack called the Cherry Popper Pack, which comes with Got Laid, BBW, and Roots and Shoots. I think it comes with Roots and Shoots. It does, doesn't it? That's the pack that we're recommending for new lawns. And recently, Jonesy's actually been talking about how Got Laid's probably under-recognised as a general fertiliser because of it's still got high N, but it's got
Phosphorus.
the P and K that he likes, and Irvo's a massive nitrogen hater.
I was waiting. How far are we in?
Oh, don't worry, I got plenty for you. So I would look at that. You don't have to wait till September to lay the lawn, and obviously the answer varies depending on what state you're in. There's plenty of people that are laying lawn a month ago, and effectively it's just going to sit dormant. So the risk you've got of laying a lawn now versus in a month is that the traffic on it might impact the look of the lawn, like the finish of the lawn. If it's not rooted in, and like if it's too wet, you might get that kind of. But you can top dress that out, and
Oh, I think the key is getting the turf down a lot of the time versus tracking mud.
Just
through
get
your
it
home or
down,
something.
yeah. So if you're looking to remove turf to redo it, I'd be waiting till the weather's a bit warmer.
Depending on your state, obviously talking to someone in Queensland, they said they laid turf in their summer, but their last summer in Gold Coast was so wet, the turf was just underwater, so they had to start again. So obviously, I'm talking from a South Australian point of view. But
we, with Jonesy being away, Matt and I have been on the other end of a lot of the online questions. So we've got a text platform that we answer questions as well as all the other socials. And I'm starting to see a lot of the questions. It's really funny, and anyone that watches the podcast enough understands my brain's different to most, but I can see this visual representation of the questions and the season. And this is super abstract, but I can see us approaching this like spring, and I'll call spring the last week kind of thing. But I can see the questions starting to change because people have started asking about, and I haven't been in the chat a lot, but they're about like, can I apply this now? Can I apply? Like people are actually outside starting to be near their lawn and going, okay, I haven't looked at it for 3 months.
yeah, the thought process has been triggered. Yeah,
Well,
that's
even
cool.
this morning I was in my backyard and we've got that chipped tile in the pool, and that's something that should have been fixed for the last 2 months. And today I was like, fuck, I need to get Anthony to come and sort that out. Yes, the guy that does the concrete and tiling is called Anthony, I know. So now, and it'll be a case of he's like, oh no, too busy. Like in September, October, the tiling pool.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would suggest get the Cherry Popper Pack, get the lawn down if you want, and then once the lawn's established, you could look at
Depending on the moisture holding, though, as to whether you need to put your BBW down straight away, though.
we'll hold off on that, you reckon, potentially?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you've got enough moisture in, like you see some of those buffaloes, if someone's laying buffalo as an example, you see some of those slabs laid in like clay.
They're
It's like,
hovering as well.
yeah,
They're like doormats.
yeah, and so
Yeah, true.
do you need to be putting that down straight away?
Yeah.
That'd be a spring application.
Yep.
But yeah,
The other, so then obviously if you had new lawn, or if the lawn was established, we've got 2 packs. There's a lawn builder pack, which is Trojan, BBW, and Roots and Shoots, which is effectively the the established lawn version of the Got Laid that we just talked about, the Cherry Popper pack. It's really quite a competitive way to get into lawn care. I think it's 89 or 79. Don't quote me on that, but so delivered, you're looking at under $100 for 200 square meters. It gives you like a base pack in which to then add to. So if you wanted to then add NSFW or money shot and start dealing with weed issues or
yeah.
whatever.
Plus the average like size lawn, there's probably more than one application in that.
Potentially, yeah. A lot
Depending
of
on it, yeah.
it's a good size for that. It's funny. I've actually had a lot of questions about larger packs. Like I had a dude wanting a price on 10 acres, and then another guy's I'm getting 3,000 squares, 1,500 squares. So we priced up some 25 kilo bags today because I was just curious about it, and it's like $70 to $100 to deliver 50 to 100 kilos kind of thing. So you're adding $1 a kilo in freight. Might not be that bad. Some people might be comfortable with it, but
Well, you're being honest about it. So.
that's all we can do. And to be honest, even when I was looking at it, I was like, I'm close to saying we don't do it because the amount of time it takes for us to go onto the freight calculator, work it out, come back, send a message, raise a custom invoice. I was like, it's not our core business. It might be something that until we're actually actively doing it, we just need to say we don't do it because it's taking so much time, and then I'm getting frustrated. I'm sure if someone else was doing it, it would be fine, but you know what my attention span's like. And then the other pack, which is a pack that I don't think people know about, is the Lawn Care Essentials pack, which has got the Trojan and I think it's Wet Roots, Money Shot, and NSFW. So you can use your Trojan as your fertilizer, your Wet as your wetting agent. Then you've got NSFW to deal with weeds. So that's usually like the questions I'm kind of saying, like, have you got weeds as an issue, or are you just trying to get your lawn looking good? And that was what, 179, so under $200 delivered. And you get a fair bit of product in that. But
you get an NSFW in that too.
well, NSFW, and it's 1,000 square meters of weed treatment, so you might use that 10 times. All right, on NSFW, Jack Chapo, Adelaide Hills. Can I use NSFW this time of year to remove the winter weeds before the soil warms? In brackets spring. If so, am I better off using Trojan and Roots with it? Cheers. Firstly, you can use NSFW any time of year, but winter weeds, it depends what you're talking about. Obviously, if he's talking about winter grass, nope. NSFW won't kill winter grass. I wish it did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. And it depends on your grass type. So what are we recommending? Poa, Check, and David Gray's.
Yeah, and you do have Duke as well.
Yeah, so if you're looking for specific advice, send us a message. And again,
and probably from the granular point of view, like NSFW is going to be great this time of year, or any time of year, as you said. But it's as you said with the Lawn Care Essentials pack, you've got that liquid option in there as well, so you can kind of go
if
from
he's
both
got
sides.
Roots, you could use Roots now.
That's right.
And Matt's saying a foliar, it might have been Jonesy, I think it was you, like foliar for Roots. Is your gut,
we were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, you find you get better results from leaving it on.
Well, no, as in from both. So
because it's this
just
time of year.
Don't put it on and wash it immediately. Leave it on and
let
get
it
that
soak up.
benefit. Yeah.
Trojan, I wouldn't be applying Trojan in Adelaide Hills until the weather's kind of 23, 24 every day. You know, the saying that Max used to say to everyone was when the day and night temperatures total 36. So if it's 12 at night and 24 during the day, then you're at that 36, and that's when you kind of get that active growth. But
through the soil profile, that is.
yeah. Well, I think it was 16 degrees Celsius active growing kind of thing. I also, in doing this process of answering questions, have got a visualization of a spreadsheet that I want to build that has turf variety, problem, product, and so you can just go, like someone sends a message going, I've got Santa Ana and I'm trying to kill Kaiku. You just go, yep, that's the answer.
When you look at a troubleshooting column.
Yeah, I just don't Jonesy just knows it in his head, and he's got this massive list of all the answers. And I know a lot of it, but I don't know all of it. And in the last week, I've learned a lot. Maybe I deserve a certificate.
Passion.
I'm not passionate about it. It gives me anxiety thinking that a customer is waiting, right? Like, you know what it's like when someone walks into the shop.
Yeah, I see that there, and I know your thought process. With
Yeah,
me.
and I'm like, I got to get back to them because, So,
yep.
Nathan Scasebrook, is Irvo Clint's man crush? Irvo is my work husband.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Well, I'm just a bit worried. There's a lot of sexual harassment lawsuits at the
We've
moment.
probably spent more time with each other
Than our wives.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
So, what?
That's good.
Hey, I'm an innocent bystander.
That's so good. What else have I got?
Yeah.
Oh, no discount for you. Okay. Not financial advice. All right, cool. So we've got all those. So I could be right.
Do they not tell you what they are?
It says what they are, but I don't know. I don't remember saying some of this shit. I get quite drunk sometimes in these podcasts. Like we got Hezbollah.
Business.
Yeah, it's good. You should get one. They're not that expensive, are they? 150. That's good. It's
That's
fuck
right.
around money. Well, considering I don't really have any other hobbies, it's just soundboards and craft beer. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. All right. Nate Extreme, I'm going to do a similar thing with the Kikuyu lawn, but not planning on digging it out. What are your thoughts? So
You
he's
said
gonna
like an
he's gonna
oversight.
kill it, but not dig it out.
It'll be back.
It'll be back. It'll be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
As in, I guess I'm assuming spray it out.
I'm thinking, so
core
Nate
it,
Extreme
top dress.
is having beer. He'll be able to jump in, but I'm assuming, spray it out and then somehow plant over it. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you're still gonna get the other variety growing, but I think I say it will be back, but it will be back lesser to an extent of obviously just letting it go and just doing an oversow on a healthy kikuyu, but it's not gonna. You
want to try and oversow tough into a kikuyu because that's effectively what you did, right?
Well, yeah, because you're going to want to effectively you can have, let's say you had the cooch finally take, and then you apply monument to take out the kikuyu, but you can only really do that once you've got really, really healthy root zones on your cooch because you don't want to be hurting the cooch. So at that point, the kikuyu is too strong again. So
if you're going to do it, you need to dig it out.
Yep.
Well, and it'd be like trying to plant. You're not going to plant any seed in an existing.
part of it had a
spray it out and top dress. So he's obviously going to try and bury it and then just
it'll the kikuyu will come back.
And it might not come back like it would have if you didn't spray it, but it definitely will come back more than if you dug it out.
Big part of why I dug it out wasn't about necessarily just removal of kikuyu. That gave me a fresh canvas.
Yeah.
I started again, so I knew my soil profile. I didn't have it sandy over here, clay over there. It was all one, which works well.
Got some questions from Instagram that don't come through on this chat platform. What do we got here? Restricted use on Insta. Hey, mate, what do you recommend for blue cooch in far north Queensland? Just be thankful that you live in far north Queensland.
I was about to say.
You can fucking smile at it and it will grow.
All of our warm season variety, really. So
I think it also depends on how tight it is, right? Like, if you're going to put Trojan down on something that's pretty tight, you're going to need to use a smaller prill.
Smaller prill, yeah. Or, I guess depending on where it's at, if you want to keep those regular intervals of roots and shoots going, and then a bit of N and iron, money shot, get your colour to darken up would be pretty cool. Especially if it is a bit cooler, the iron's going to help that the health of the plant.
Well, far north Queensland, I'm guessing, is what, 28 at the moment, 26.
Yeah, I've seen a few people heading up to the Cape York, and it's been quite wet up there, but they're all in t-shirts. So
yeah, I look at the weather through a different lens now. That we have a national fertilizer business. Like in the morning, if the news is on, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Driving back.
I just chased. Well, you drove through it. Yeah.
Driving back, I was like, I could turn right and go to Darwin at 32, 33 degrees and 23-degree nights. Like to think that that's in our, or saying to Jonesy, like to think that that's in our, like our country.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, if I don't stop, like I'm there.
You're there.
And I'm
No
like there
passport, no
tomorrow night.
applications, no visas.
Yeah.
Just smiles, right? I saw Vintage Chef Co. You know the girls that
Food.
I follow their page, and one of them was up in Darwin for a spring carnival, or wouldn't be spring, whatever it was called, winter. A race was probably spring in there. Remember, weather's not a date, weather's a feeling, right? And it looked amazing, man. Like the ocean's coming at you from the other direction, and sun's out. And I don't know. I think there's a bit. Dylan, you should break up with your girlfriend and become a passport bro. Yeah, is that a thing? Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Did you say probe?
Passport bro.
Oh.
So you just go to the countries where it might be easier for you to find what you're looking for. Dylan obviously has no problems because he's a good-looking young man, but
Do they still do that? I heard they used to be able to do that if you know out the front of a pub or a club, you could like look up the almost like augmented reality, and it would tell you who's actually trying to check in. So if you were like male looking for women between certain age groups, it would tell you. And so and you're like, I don't want to go in there. That's a sausage fest.
As in for the country? Because I'm talking
I'm not. Country's probably another level, but there's probably security.
Mate, that's got to be the next thing in AI. It's just like, where's all the people that you're attracted to right now, and you just go onto like a thing. You're
looking at your phone.
We're going. Yeah. Anyway, we're digressing from the important stuff, which is the lawn, and I'm not drinking. I don't know why, to be honest. All right.
Sun's out.
Well, I've been drinking really heavily lately, and I'm not consciously measuring the amount, and I find that I don't feel it the next day if I don't know what it was. Right? Just don't think about it.
If you measure it, you feel
then
it.
I think I'm like, oh, I had too much to drink. Whereas now I'm just like, I don't know. I reckon I had probably 8+% cans of beer yesterday, and a 196 and whatever else. And
whatever else could be another 20 standards, but yeah.
And I reckon I got to bed after midnight, 12:30. I did heaps of questions, did some announcements. Yeah, I was really, really hoping they won that game. That first quarter was amazing. And like Paddy Mills, like 5th fucking Olympics, and to be shooting threes while jumping out of the court deep in a three. It's just
midair, yeah.
You can't, like, it's crazy. And Giddy, who is there, but he was like playing second fiddle. Like he was on the bench so Paddy Mills could be out there. It's just crazy.
Oh, so, that was Serbia were getting back-to-back threes in quick succession. So like that gap, that was like a 10 to 12 point gap.
They're not a team that you can just go, oh, we're up by 20 points, we're going to be all right.
No, that was like,
and they didn't have a full strength team either.
Yeah, right.
So like Jokic is a full strength player, but Jovic didn't play, and he, like anyway. Like it's like fucking Luka Doncic. Just have these massive fucking people that look lazy and sloppy that just shoot 30, 40 points a game. Anyway, that's not why people have tuned in. They're here to talk about Michael Man Crush on you. Oh, here's an interesting question from Duncan Weston on Instagram. Which Pringles chips does he prefer? I think this is for you.
Is it sour cream?
Yeah, the green tube. They are the only Pringles. All other Pringles don't. I don't know.
I've moved to red tubes.
What, original?
Original.
Fuck that.
It's
why?
Support my daughter.
Support your daughter.
She's like, I don't want that one, Dad. So
I guess if there's something you're going to compromise on, that's probably not an unreasonable compromise.
Yeah, but
keeping in mind that Pringles can't legally be sold as chips because they don't have enough potato in them.
Oh, right.
So he'll just be watching what
are they called, crisps or something?
Confectionery, I don't know, but there's.
I do make sure that I'm like I'll like eyeball my daughter while I finish the last one. Bring a little bit of tears
just to make sure she knows that she's not in charge. She's not the boss.
Dad paid for these.
Because speaking of that, my kids, I got home last night and they had a full business plan for a lemonade stand, and I didn't.
That was great.
I had a heart to tell them. I got photos of it as well. I think it's going to be good to look back on. But like they'd drawn where the tables were going to go, and I'm like, where are you going to get power? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you got hot chocolate here. Like, is that going to be made on demand, or are you going to actually?
You're going to come home and the generator you've got is going to be running.
They're like, and Connor goes, no, you have to make the hot chocolate. And I was like, so how much do I get paid to make the hot chocolate? And he's like, 10 cents. Like, I don't think you've got this worked out.
You're like 7 o'clock in the morning, like, turn the choke on, Jack.
Yeah. And I said, while they were putting Jack to bed last night, I was like, dude, you really got to think about this. Food businesses are hard, man. Like, you got to buy stock. You might not sell it. It goes off. Like, where are your customers coming from? You're going to sell like lemonade when the weather's not hot. Like, and I'm giving him a full business coaching session. And I was like, you need products, man. IP products is where it's at. Like, all the shit in your bedroom, sell that. You own it outright. So I'll get home and it'll all be gone.
Yeah.
So Far North Queensland, look, granular fertilizer would be fine now. If it's finely cut, you could look at Trojan Mini and a BBW this time of year. And it just depends how crazy you want to go. Like, if you want to go nuts, that's when you start introducing things like Money Shot. Just be careful not to get it on concrete. Really important to having a wetting agent now. And then if you've got any weed issues, then obviously we can answer that question specific to your needs if you can send us a photo through. Front Yard Fridays has said, what do you suggest for ryegrass this time of year in SA? Monument? It's not meant to be funny, okay. As in, if you want to get it to grow, you can answer this.
For this time of year,
Ryegrass. Well, ryegrass you could use granular, right? Like
Yeah.
it's going to pick it up now.
we talked about this again yesterday. I've been off still. You got smaller amounts of N.
Yeah.
Roots and shoots.
Yep.
3-way.
Roots and shoots is regularly my favourite product. The ryegrass, I was joking. Ryegrass is still popping up in my backyard, and I've sprayed that out 3 or 4 times.
Doesn't come up in mine now.
Yeah.
It's gone after first year.
I don't know what the go is like.
Oh, I also only took calls. So.
Yeah, because you had my baby rise. Yeah.
Baby rise.
So for anyone that doesn't know, we didn't finish talking about Matt's front yard because we had a lot of questions coming through, and we were trying not to make this podcast go too late because Dylan finishes 23 minutes ago, but he's such a good guy. He's staying back to record the podcast.
Good boy.
And to be honest, we'll just do, maybe what we'll do is we'll try to finish this up in the next 10 to 20, 17. And then we can do another episode next week. We'll maybe do it on the Friday the 16th or whatever. Oh, I'm meant to be going out and getting drunk. We could do it after that. And we could do that'll be fun. Because I'll need guests while Jonesy's not here. And none of the professionals want me to be their host. They only want Jonesy. So, you know, like
you
all
have
the
to
golf
run your own.
supers. That's just me sitting here. Well, today, literally, like if this didn't work, I would have just sat here and talked about, I would have done an irrigation lesson and been like, put one in the corner, then measure it 4 meters, put another one in the corner. There you go.
Yeah.
So
we can do irrigation still. Maybe not today.
No, we'll do. There's enough time. Jonesy's. I think he said he can sit on a chair again in 3 weeks or something. So we'll sort it out.
Iced it out.
So
the dirtier, the better.
I like. So you've got drums now. Well, he'll be driving for a while, so he'll probably listen to this on his drive. So I had a heap of questions in there. Taylor Evans on Facebook. Clint, your voice worked perfectly last Friday. Your son arrived shortly after. Couldn't convince the missus on Clint. That's right. I offered to pay him to name his child Clint. So,
not the first person.
No, definitely not the first person to say no. Yeah, that's right. So his wife was in labour. So he was watching the podcast, and she was in labour. So the first thing this poor kid probably heard was me and Jonesy talking shit. But son arrived shortly after, and I don't think he knew what he was having either. Couldn't convince the missus on Clint. So yeah, any jobs for him? His rent's due on Friday. Yeah, we're looking to hire for Lawnhub at the moment. So if he can go get a turf qualification or a Jonesy version of that, he can start this afternoon.
Remember when you asked, you offered cash for me to name my first child,
Yeah.
Clint?
I offered
I was
Kyle
like,
Wilkie
dude,
like 50
I
grand.
had a daughter, and you're like,
Clintina.
yes or no?
I offered Kyle Wilkie 50 grand, and then someone the other day, I said it, and they're like, "Yeah, all right." I'm like, "Oh fuck, this has just got real."
Yeah, well, you throw enough shit at the wall, and shit's gonna stick.
That's right. That's what the shit is being called Clint. Thanks, man. That's great. Jonesy just said Party Hole Senior sends his love and he's excited to see the gang on Friday. So he's obviously coming to our grand opening at Lonsdale.
Yes, that's gonna be cool.
It's going to be out of control. I sent down a lot more tables and chairs today, which you would have seen.
No, come back for you.
Sent back a second barbecue.
I knew it was coming.
Like enough seating for 60, I think.
Yep.
All right. I wasn't following either. We need one more ha. Is that you? You just saying shit or are you sending shit?
Is that?
Front yard photo. Okay. Thanks, man. That's great. And to look,
Oh yeah, from the LinkedIn earlier. Yeah.
Dylan's on his own, and I'm giving him shit. Kira's so busy making labels for our shelves that I couldn't have her here right now. Live, nice. Where are the jumpsuits? Mudge, the jumpsuits are actually hanging up in my back room at home. So let's took them home to wash them because I don't know. That's what happens, right? Girls do laundry.
An orange jumpsuit.
Matt wouldn't wear it either. So plus it's Jonesy's. He wouldn't fit
That's
it.
right.
It's got really short legs and a tight crutch. B Aussie on Insta. I have a question. Best weed killer that's safe for and will not kill mondo grass. Any ideas? I don't have an answer for that.
No.
My first thoughts are mondo grass. If it's in the garden, you need to be careful.
I need to understand
what you're trying to kill.
Well, what family mondo's from would be
The rye. So it's like this. Is it? Yeah.
Looking at
Looks
the way
like
it clumps is where I.
Jonesy, can you please message me the answer to this question? If we don't get an answer, I'll find an answer out for you, and we will post it either on our page or in the next podcast.
Are you spraying like any selective through your garden beds where you've got fescue through yours, or you just pull it?
No, I hadn't thought about that.
Obviously,
I've done neither.
Do your research.
I have a fescue nursery, so I hadn't worried about it. I just thought, fuck it, it looked really good for it. Like if you could just have fescue that long in your garden, like it's kind of like a bit
cousin it
different, yeah. But it's like, oh yeah, that's different. They've done something different there. But I was just going to leave it, and you know what? It's one of those things like a lot of other shit that I just figure someone else will deal with it at some point. Like it'll just take care of itself. Like
the neighbour's like, I can't do this.
Or
anymore.
not even like Ryan comes past and just goes, dude, what the fuck, man? Like everything's good, and you've just left this here. I'm like, and he'll be like, can I get one of my guys to come and sort it out? I'm like, yep. It'll just be like that. And
Yeah, I expect that text. Like it happened.
Yeah,
like,
I'll get a bill
you.
for like $300 or $400 for someone being there
You'd be
for an
cool
hour.
with that, though.
Yeah, I don't care. I just don't.
Then
Want
just air tasker it.
It's remember my side quests. Like so, last week we talked about. I've got all these things that I want people to do for me, but it's a very complicated. Like it's not a one-person job. Like I need someone. Like I need to find. It's like an EA on steroids.
Mm.
So, yeah.
You need someone to manage your own air tasker.
Basically, like a chief of staff or a chief of tasks. I like that. That would look good on a card too. So yeah, I need that.
Chris would jump at that.
I know Chris would jump at that. And maybe that's it. Chris gets Kent Town humming, doesn't need to be there anymore. He can be Clint's chief of tasks. That'd be cool.
Yeah. You need to get that card, just one card made.
And he doesn't give it to anyone. He just shows it to him. He's like, you can't have it.
Yeah.
I need to buy a lawnmower. Jonesy, like
Another one?
to give away.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So we don't have the prize for the end of August decided yet. And Jonesy's
I did see to be determined.
Yeah, well, Jonesy's taken leave and he's being real serious about it and like only helping me a little bit while he's not working. I was looking for a bit more commitment, but whatever. We'll have to find.
Did I get this kind of chat about me when I was?
Oh, dude, yeah, it was more internal.
Yeah. I thought, not fair.
Okay, a couple more questions, then we should get out of here. Duncan Weston noted Clint is hilarious. Fucking oath I am. Thank you, Duncan. I have two people that think I'm funny now. One of them is Duncan and the other one
needs a button.
is me.
You are a fucking wop.
All right. Sorry. Thank you, Duncan. We should send Duncan a prize. That was really smart. Probably the best comment we've had today. So we'll ask you this question, then we'll get out of here because I don't want Dylan to get stuck here all afternoon. He's got to go to the gym. Do you still go to the gym?
Yeah, but I have injured my wrist. So. I know, that's what I want to say. That's why I hesitated because I could get shit.
You could have just said, nah, I've been real busy.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but I injured my wrist.
Which wrist?
The right one.
Are you right-handed?
It's never the wrong one.
The dominant one. Yep. In other news, I can't say it. All right.
Business is humming.
I was going to say, in other news, all of the stress fractures in my Johnson have healed. All right. Shanevs, what are Irvo's plans for his spring reno?
Get it actively growing as soon as I can. If we have weather like tomorrow, which is what, maybe 19 tomorrow again. So if that continues and then we get the 24s next week, I'm going to get some roots and shoots out of my lawn, try and get it to start greening up, and then I'll take it down to absolute dirt for both. So I have Teeth Tough at the front and Kikuyu out the back. I'll destroy them both as hard as I possibly can.
You got any cautionary tales around the application of roots and shoots that you want to share?
I certainly do. So when we filmed the Ultimate Spray Pack,
Yep, the ad for the Ultimate Spray Pack at your house.
Yep. So Jonesy, and I think you did, didn't you? Put it up on like some bloopers videos or something as well. But Jonesy tipped a bottle of Roots and Shoots out concentrate straight onto my lawn, and like looked at me like, Irvo's going to kill me, and he's like hosed it out. That was the best patch of lawn I had. Like all my lawn was quite healthy and green, obviously, but then that patch just thrived. It was so much better, and I was like, something in this.
I'm going off label.
Well,
rips the label off the back of the bottle.
Like apart from putting Roots and Shoots in your wheat bix, like it goes on all my lawns, all my plants.
It is a really versatile product.
So I felt like I wouldn't do that with NSFW or anything else. But
Well, you can't.
Correct.
Right. And
you can't with Roots and
you
Shoots.
can't, but honestly,
there is leeway.
I've done some pretty ridiculous applications with Roots and Shoots. Look, I guess the best way to put it, when someone messages and says, I accidentally put this much of Roots and Shoots on, I'm like, okay, I'm glad you said Roots and Shoots, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But if someone says I put double dose of NSFW or I applied spots or I put it with a watering can, I'm like, oh, you're fucked. Whereas Roots and Shoots, you can put in a watering can, no stress.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, so what was your application rate?
So I used 2 litres per 100 square metres. So actually, no, it was probably
What's the recommended? 60 mils per 100?
Yeah, 60 to 1.
And you put 2,000.
So I ended up
you did
putting
40 times as much as you were meant to.
I have 78 square metres out the front, or 75 square metres. So I actually put 2 litres to 75.
So you might have done 50 times the recommended dose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's not too many things you can do in the world where that won't kill you.
Lawn looked unbelievable until it didn't. And I did it, and I called Jonesy, and I was like, "Hey man, I did a thing. I know it's not going to be good." He's like, "You're going to get disease, man." And I was like,
you know, the funny thing is, there's a lot of nitrogen. Like you are a non-nitrogen user, right? There's a lot of nitrogen. When you put that much Roots and Shoots down, like it's 5% nitrogen. So your level of nitrogen you put down was probably like, equal to a fertilizer that you wouldn't traditionally use or more.
And I'd only had money shot probably a week prior. So there was enough. It was kicking. It was already humming along. And then, it started to go off a little bit. And I ended up with brown patch. So applied with Impala. Worked beautifully. Obviously did a follow-up treatment and it stopped it. So I didn't get it spreading. But at that point, I went into winter with a lawn under stress. So for my first year, if you get a delivery from Lawnhub, the colour of that cardboard box is the colour of my lawn.
Right now?
Yep.
My back lawn's just like a mottled version of it. It's like my backyard's like a leopard. Like it's got that brown, but then there's the leopard's dark spots is my green spots.
My neighbour is a artificial turf reseller.
I was going to use a different word for the end of that, but
so lovely guy.
Different noun.
But yeah, it's my mission to make sure that my turf
looks better.
Will look better all year round than his artificial turf will ever be. So
I like that. Matt's a fully sponsored Lawnhub athlete, so
I think artificial
whatever you need,
zero place in it.
It's silly, man. In a world where we can't drink out of a fucking plastic straw, dickheads can put out like a plastic carpet in their front yard. It's just stupid.
Yep.
But that's just my opinion. I'm going
You're not alone.
allow one more question and then we need to close this down because we need to get out of here, I think. Yeah, Dylan would probably like to go home. It will give us other stuff to talk about for the next one. So, Jack Chapo, will a dose of onset today, 10 mil of rain is expected tomorrow, be beneficial? Then NSFW and Roots and Shoots on Saturday. Sir Walter was looking decent at the end of summer. Not now drama, dog piss, holes, weeds. So onset is a pre-emergent. I don't know.
I think it's
It's
depending on
predominant.
where you are, but I think from my understanding, I think it's a touch early for pre-emergent.
Yeah, I
syndrome.
wouldn't-
I
I
thought
wouldn't
it was
be
more
doing it.
September, or
Yeah.
end of August at least.
I think there's two schools of thought there. If you're at the end of a 6 months of your last pre-emergent, then maybe. But also, if Jonesy's always like, you can always go too late, but you can never go too early. So you could put it down, but I don't know that you need to put it down right now.
As in you can go too late because at
Well, the
that
weeds
point
have
it's
germinated,
germinated. Yeah.
So it's still going to work. You
Yep.
just might need to do another application at some point in spring or maybe summer. But
Yep.
I
The
hate,
other thing is do you know you're going to? I mean, yeah. So Adelaide's due for 10 mil tomorrow.
that's what he's saying. So
yeah.
I think he's the one that was talking about Adelaide Hills. Yeah.
So then that, on the basis of that, you hope you get 10. If you don't, and you need to obviously give it enough meals down, you need to make sure that you do top that back up again.
Because if you're rinsing it through.
Yeah, and I say that a lot of time, especially in winter, when I say to people, just be mindful that it says it's going to be 10 to 15 mil, but what if you get 25?
Or don't get any rain at all.
Yeah, you need to be aware of what you can't just go on holiday with it. So
All right. I'm going to call this. We're going to have no more podcasting today. Thank you for doing this at semi-short notice.
oh, good.
What have I... hang on. I don't know what that's from.
You don't say that.
That was a yawn.
That is actually.
What's the one that my kids keep doing? This
Was
one.
that a snore?
What the hell?
Was it a snore?
It was meant to be
Yeah.
a yawn. It says yawn.
Oh, it's
Snore. That's all you have to do is have this working.
I think there's a little bit more to the buttons.
Oh my God.
So, we will have another podcast with Irvo next week. So if there were questions that you wanted irrigation related answered, then save them up. I think we might even do some prizes. Irvo hasn't really been in one of the full swing podcasts where we're giving away shit and getting absolutely slammed with questions. I just want to have a quick look at the dates. So next Friday is a middle of month barbecue here. I think I'm meant to be going out for a boozy lunch. We can do a morning podcast. Do 10 till 12, and then I'll go get drunk. All right, done. Thanks for tuning in.
Morning.
What?
Morning,
You and me. We'll do the morning. We'll do the breakfast here on the 16th.
like mimosas and shit.
Well, yeah, I was going to drink at lunch. We can start drinking. I didn't even think about that. Okay, we'll start drinking in the podcast. So 7 till 10, barbecue breakfast. Oh, fuck. And Jack's, oh, God. It's going to be an interesting night that night. Anyway, thanks for tuning in and keep it green. We'll see you in a week.
So later.